what's going on? Ronin Man here. Hey, today I want to talk about stealthing, right? You probably read about this stuff, and it's painful to read this stuff because it just wastes your valuable brain energy time, right? But it is good to know because it can put you in jail. So I thought I'd make this video about the whole concept of stealthing. I've never heard anybody really nail it yet, and I wanted to really tell you what my thoughts are on stealthing. Right? Nobody talks about it. Why would you take a condom off? That's what's supposedly stealthing. They made a name for it. So if you ever want to brand something, like if you want to make a brand, you need a name for it, right? And if you want to put people in prison, you need a name for it. So there's a name for it now. So most guys I know hate condoms. I hate condoms. I fucking don't wear condoms. So don't worry about me stealthing too much. But in my past I have, and I'll talk about that in this video, my experience with it. But basically stealthing is when you take a condom off during sex. So why, now this is what no one's talked about yet, but why would a guy, why in God's name would a guy take a condom off during sex? What's your take? Why would you take a condom off during sex? The only reason I can think of, well, it's a couple of reasons. One would be she'd be a cunt. So if she was a cunt and she was ugly, I might have difficulty coming, right? So if I had difficulty coming, you know, and I was like in the middle of sex, I'd want to finish it off, you know, so I would think about what could I do to come now, because I'm kind of tired of being with her, things are going downhill, and I got to finish this soon, otherwise it's going to get too late and it won't work at all. So I'm like, okay, so if I'm with an ugly girl, or she's fat, or she's in bad shape, so she's got a bad personality, something's wrong with her, and then I would have difficulty coming, right? Let's say she's being a complete cunt in bed. You know, then that would turn me off, right? So I'd have difficulty coming. So not a common problem. In fact, it would only happen once, because I would never see her again. But let's just say that this has happened in the past. Sometimes even to nice girls. I had one girl who was overweight and she was very nice, but I could not come with her, and I told her, that's it, this is it, and I left her because she just didn't turn me on. You know, it's just like, you know, sexual relationship. If she doesn't turn you on, there's no shame to leaving her because she can't make you come. And that girl that couldn't make me come, she wrote me tons of letters. She said, I'm going to study and learn how to sex, and I'm going to be better, and I'll make you happy, whatever you want. I'm sorry I wasn't listening. She was a really nice girl, but I never saw her again because I knew it wasn't what she did. It was the fact that she was kind of overweight, and I didn't like that. That didn't turn me on. As a friend, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally different when you're talking about sex, right? It's kind of like, you know, you might shop at a store, you know, to buy something, but you're not going to buy the company. You're not going to invest in the company, right? It's a completely different thing. It's not inhumane to not buy the company, right? It's not inhumane to not get married, to not be with a girl. It's you only should be with people who turn you on. You have dick of blue steel. Those are the only girls you want even to come to your house, not to mention have a relationship with, right? You got to have blue steel. If you don't get blue steel, then it's over, right? So that would be the main reason why a guy would take a condom off, is because it wasn't working out. He wasn't horny. And so that's like a warning sign. So you shouldn't even be in trouble for any of this kind of stuff, because you should realize that it's not, it might be her fault because she might not be nice, she might be mean or violent or ugly or overweight. Like I said, those things would turn you off, right? But other reasons could just be that the one possibility you should always check out is you might be unhealthy. So if you have too much, you're overweight, you have a gut, and you're not feeling good, you're not healthy, even if she's super sexy, then you might not be able to come. You might have trouble with your body. In that case, you should go to the doctor. You should get it checked out, right? Don't take condom off, because it's not going to solve the problem, right? The problem is that you're having some, maybe like veins are getting blocked or something like that, right? But in normal situations, it's usually the girl doesn't look very good, or she's not doing what you like sexually, right? Or she's boring in bed, or something like that. You know, something that's making you not come. Right? So we're not talking about fairness here. We're talking about coming. You know, guys come or they don't come, right? So if she's not making you come, then you have to leave. And so I think the problem is, it goes back to the violence thing, you know, like domestic violence. It's because they're domestic. The reason you don't go be violent with some girl you've never met, right? Domestic violence happens from being with somebody who you don't want to be with, and you have a gradual buildup of bad feelings over the years, and or months or whatever, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and eventually it gets bad, right? So I tell you, the thing is what I said in that video is just never stay with anybody that there's any bad feelings at all. Just get the fuck out. GTFO, baby. That's always your modus operandi. Just leave. And if anybody tells you you're not committed, and these are the tricks. These are like Odysseus in the book. The Iliad and Odyssey. He had the sirens, and he had to tie himself to the mast to avoid being tricked into his death. Right? So when someone's trying to trick you into staying somebody that doesn't turn you on or doesn't make you happy, or you've already had tons of problems with them, there's going to be more problems. This is no question about it. It's just your intuition knows you should leave, but you stay. That's how you get into trouble. That's how you get into that's how domestic problems happen. And then domestic violence is from being domestic is the main problem. If you don't have a girlfriend, you're not going to go beating up women, right? It happens from being domestic, and that's what no one talks about. So same thing here. If you're having any trouble coming with a girl, because I've had situations where I'll have, like, let's say, like I've talked about this many times, but it's important, like several girls, and maybe one I'll be having a little bit of trouble with, and the girl, without a doubt, without a question, she always thinks it's me. You know what I mean? Like, I can think of like 2 or 3 situations where the girl thought it was me, and I let her think that. But actually, after she left, a sexy girl came over, and I fucked the shit out of her, and it was awesome. But I didn't want to put the girl down. I didn't want her to feel bad. But the truth was, it wasn't me. It was her. And so don't blame yourself first. If you have a physical problem, then you need to take care of it. But if you don't, the problem's not you. The problem is that she isn't turning you on, right? So don't take off a condom. And I don't think this stealthing thing is such a big deal anyway. I think a guy either doesn't want to get a girl pregnant, like he thinks she's got VDs. Okay, the reasons why you'd use a condom is because she's a skank, or, you know what I mean? Like, usually because she's a skank. So you meet a girl in the club, and you don't want to get AIDS or something, so you put on a condom, right? It's not about pregnancy, it's about AIDS. It's about gonorrhea and stuff, right? So that's why you wear a condom, the main reason. So if you're with a skanky girl, then you should wear a condom. So I can't see a guy taking a condom off with a hot skanky girl. Like, why would he do that? Like, he's either gonna not want to get AIDS, or he's gonna want to get AIDS and get a baby, or whatever he's gonna want. He's not gonna go one or the other. You know what I mean? It's not like you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big difference, right? You either want to get the girl pregnant or you don't, right? There's no like, oh, I kind of want to get, it's like, no, you want a baby, you don't. You want to buy a car, you don't. You want to buy a house, you don't. You want to move, or you don't, right? You just got to get to the heart of the matter. Which do you want, right? Which do you really want, considering all the options? So the stealthing idea is another way to put guys in prison. So basically, guys don't like wearing anything on their dick, right? They like raw. Guys like the raw feeling on their dick. And women have got guys to the point now where they accept having to wear a condom, which I think is really lame. I don't like condoms. I don't wear condoms. But it's like another sign. They forced us to wear these fucking things we hate on our dick, which we don't want to put anything on our dick. Guys hate doing that. And then now they're taking this thing that they've forced us to do, and now they're making it criminal to take it off, right? And the thing is it's not even about taking it off. Like I said, I hate condoms. I don't even wear them anymore, but I have worn them a couple times. And the times I wore them was with a really skanky girl, right? So I had this really hot skanky girl. Me and my friend were fucking her. And I was getting her from behind, and he was getting her from the front, and to get a blowjob. And so we were filming it. We had a camera set up, and it was kind of faced towards me, and so he was kind of facing away from the kids. Could see his back, right? And so what happened was the condom came off inside of her when I was fucking her. And so then the look on my face is just hilarious. Like, me and this friend, whenever we get together, Dave, we always laugh about it, because I was so scared. Like, I was shocked, and I'm like, fuck AIDS, This girl was skanky. I was a bit worried about this one. I did not want to, like, my dick to go into this one raw, but I realized I had been done, I don't even know how many strokes without a condom, because it had come off. So the idea that a condom stays on, like, that a guy can be responsible for a condom coming off, I mean, there's a lot of things a woman can do to make a condom come off too. If she has like vice grip control of the vagina, she can actually kind of pull it off, right? A woman has a lot of control of her vagina if she's athletic. If she's a retard, she probably doesn't. So if you're talking to a retard, she might not know about this, but if a girl's athletic and she's a cool chick and she has, she's trained her Kegel muscles and stuff, she knows how to control things. She could actually pull the condom right off. So, and then she could put you in jail for stealthing, right? That would be a great way to do it. That'd be pretty good, actually. This would be, if you're a girl and you want to put a guy in jail, like for whatever reason, girls love to do this kind of thing. So you could set up a camera and then train your muscles so you could pull it off on camera, and then on camera you could say, hey, you stealthed me, I'm going to the police, and then you'd have it all on camera. It'd be perfect. You guy go straight to prison, right? Because he stealthed you, right? But the reality is that condoms are not. There's no place to bolt them on. You can't. They don't. You can't glue a condom on. There's no hook on your body. It's like sticking on your dick, and you're doing like sex, and it's crazy and violent, and there's juices, and there's lube, and there's muscles, and there's a lot of reasons why a condom would not be on very well. One reason might be that you don't have one that fits very well, for whatever reason. It might be the wrong size. You might just use whatever condom you found in the hotel, or you might have an old one in your wallet or whatever, your bag, and then you use it, and the thing could come off. So the idea that the only reason a condom would come off is because the guy's a criminal is totally ridiculous. It's like saying that a guy's hat would fly off in the wind because he's a fucking criminal. It's like, no, if you're in a wind or a hailstorm or whatever and you're wearing a fucking hat, it might fly off. Your umbrella might fly, right? It's not because you threw it to hurt somebody. It's because the wind blew the thing off your head. It blew it out of your hand. So condoms can come off, and then I just want to end on this last one is, if stealthing is such a big crime and problem these days, which I really have not heard that from anybody in reality except for like feminist magazines, but if it is such a problem and we need to criminalize this taking off a condom, one, we have to, like I said, we have to know that condoms do come off, right? That they don't always come off because you stealth, right? They come off, they fall off sometimes. And I'd like to see some studies on that. I'd like to see how well they stay on different kinds of dicks with lube in weird situations, different positions. I'd like to see an honest study about how often a condom falls off, because I've found it quite often. Whenever I've used them, it's come off on mine many times. I don't know if maybe I put them on wrong. Maybe I put lube on my dick and that makes them come off. I don't know what it is, but it's not comfortable without lube, so I put a little lube on there. So, maybe there is some better way to do it. So I'd like to learn it. I'm never going to use one, but actually I shouldn't say that. It depends on the situation. It's possible I would use one, like that hot skank drove my friend. So I wanted to use one that day and it came off. So, but if it's going to be criminalized, then I think that you also have to criminalize one of the more serious things, which is women lying about using birth control. Because if a woman is lying about using birth control, then she is stealthing you, right? So if a woman stealths you, you should be able to put her in prison. And I think that if you're going to have a crime of stealthing, the more serious crime is lying about the pill. So we're going to have to criminalize women's behavior, because women, many guys are married to women who stealth them, right? And afterwards they laugh about it. They laugh about criminal behavior, like lying that they were on the period, right? It's a common thing. Yeah, I've heard many wives laugh about this one afterwards. They're criminals, but if stealthing is a crime, then definitely lying about birth control is a bigger crime. And the reason why is very simple: is it's with a condom, it's easy to see if you're wearing it, right? It's visible, right? But with a pill, there's no way to know. So it's literally impossible for the guy to know if she took her pill tonight or didn't take it, or this morning. You don't know, right? There's no way for you to know. And so naturally, it's more dangerous, and deceit would be a more serious issue. It would be a more serious crime, because if you took it off, if she had to take the pill right before you had sex and you could watch her, and she took a fake pill or she took a vitamin C instead of a thing, at least you could see her taking the pill and you could look at the pill, and there'd be ways to kind of decide. But that's not the way it is. She has to do it in the morning, and if she skips one day, she can be pregnant. So I would say that if we are going to have new laws about criminalizing sex, which I personally think is a very bad idea. I don't think it's good for the sexes. I don't think it's good for humanity. I don't think there's any way to prove any of this stuff, Could you prove she didn't take the pill on purpose? Could you prove that the condom didn't come off? These are just impossible to prove. But again, a jury could be convinced of anything, right? But they're just impossible to prove. The condom comes off. Like literally, the condom came off with me. How would I prove that wasn't my fault? Like I didn't do it on purpose. Like is there any way to prove that? There's no way to prove it. There's literally no way to prove it. But it's true. If I ever wear a condom I want to wear a condom, okay? That's it. I'm either going to wear a condom or not. 99% of the time I'm not going to, but if I do, it means I want to wear a goddamn fucking condom. Because I don't want to get fucking AIDS, right? Right? I'm not going to fucking stealth. I don't want fucking AIDS, right? So that's why she's a skank. I don't want AIDS, right? So I'm going to wear a condom once in a while. Very rare, but it does happen. So I think the idea of stealthing doesn't make any sense. The only reason, like I said, I can think of why anybody would stealth, and I've never heard anybody say this, like get into the reasons why stealthing would occur. The main reason is because you can't come, which usually means you're incompatible. She's not sexy. She's not taking care of her body. She doesn't know how to give a blowjob. She doesn't study about sex. She doesn't improve herself. Those are the kind of things that would make you not come. And then, like I said, the other reason would be simply that you had some kind of blockage. You know, I had a friend who was 33, had a heart attack once, and I'm sure he had trouble coming because he, you know, before he had his heart surgery, you know, open heart surgery at 33. The dude was 33. I couldn't believe it. He had glassy eyes. I took him to the hospital. He was having a heart attack. He smoked heavily, you know. So yeah, that's about all I can think. If you guys can think of any other reasons, like realistically, why a guy would take a condom off, besides those, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear what you think about this, because I haven't heard a full discussion of this one. Guys are just scared. It's another way to put guys in jail. It's another way to scare men. It's another way to take the legal system and use it against men. It's another way to ruin the sexes, the relationship between the sexes. It's another way to create fear. It's another way to create animosity. It's another way for a power struggle, so a woman could get more money from a guy. She could say to the guy, "You stealthed me," and then he says, "No, I didn't mean to, it came off," and then she says, "Well, give me some money or we're going to the police," right? What would you do? A lot of guys would give her some money. You know what I mean? Like, let's go shopping. Like, I didn't mean to, but you know, let's just get this over with, right? Instead of go to prison for something that you didn't do, so you didn't mean to do. So that's my thought on stealthing. If you guys can think of any other reasons why this would be a problem or why guys would do this, I'd love to hear it. I don't see any. Usually, a crime usually has some motivation. You know what I mean? There's like, if you look at murder, it's always some motivation. It's either jealousy, money. It's something, envy. It's some strong emotion. There's always something at the heart of it. It's so rare to find somebody who just goes out in the street and just kills somebody for no reason, right? Just like random stranger, it just doesn't happen. It does happen 1 in a million, but basically most crime has some passion, has some cause, right? So what is the cause of stealthing? What is the reason besides what I just said? I'd love to hear what you guys think, and let's get to the heart of this one. And if they're going to make a crime out of this, let's do it with everything. Let's make women, we got to make a new thing, and I think it should be retroactive too. So if you have a baby, even if they're 10 years old, if she admits that she stealthed you with a pill, you should be able to sue her and maybe get all the money back for the investment in the kid, so you can go retire overseas or whatever. That would be a pretty good solution. If she was a criminal and did something criminal, so there should be no statute of limitation for this kind of stuff. If a woman tricked a guy by saying she's on the pill and she didn't take it on purpose and later admitted it, she was dumb enough to admit it before it became a crime, then maybe like somehow extending it so that she can go to prison, or she could pay you off like all the money you put into the hospital and university, whatever you paid for the kid. There should be some kind of a penalty, is what I'm saying, and it should be some way for the guy to go live a happy life, because when you screw a guy over, he should justice should be served, right? Let's make justice served, right? If we're going to start criminalizing these type of things, getting pregnant without the other one's wish, right? Then we need to get serious about this. So let's get serious about it, and let's go with the things that are hidden first, pills and stuff like that. Those are more serious than obvious ones, which you have some control over. You can put the condom back on, or you can get a new condom or something. But the pill, there's no way to know. So obviously, it needs to be some heavy penalties and some jail time. Maybe need to build some new cells for women, because this is a common one. I've heard this one so many times. I've had women tell me, happily smiling, that they were like, "Oops, I missed my day," or they'll say, "Come inside me, don't worry, I'm on the pill," and then I don't. I come on their face, and then they say afterwards, "You're so smart, like I wasn't on the pill." I've had women do this all the time, and they smile. Criminals smile, so if we're going to make stealthing a crime, then we definitely need to round it off, because it's either a crime or it's not, right? Getting somebody pregnant or becoming pregnant when you didn't want to is either a crime or it's not a crime. And if it is a crime, we have to look honestly at the sexes and see who's more at fault, who's more, you know what I mean? Like which one, how the penalties should be arranged, right? Which is worse, which is more expensive, which is more deceitful, and things like that, right? So let's do that. Let's get into that. If stealthing is going to be a thing, I think we need to really push for more women in prison for stealthing, because the whole pill stealthing thing is huge, man. I've heard women admit this like from the 50s, right, in movies, and it's huge, right? There's a lot of criminals to be put in jail. You know, obviously I'm saying this in facetious because I think it's ridiculous to put everybody in jail. I think it's ridiculous. Women are lying that cunts about this kind of stuff. We know that. It's no question. You always got to be responsible. Do not come at a woman because she says she's on the pill. Do not trust what a woman says about sex. You don't have to say anything, but just do not believe it, because you know that she's an instinctual being who's going to do the best thing for herself, which might not be in your behavior. You always have to be careful as a guy, and you have to know. This is what you learn when you screw like a lot of women. Be with a few hundred women, you realize all the scams they pull on you, and you start to believe very, very little. But at the same time, like I said, I have this great appreciation for all those times and the people I've been with, and I think it's an art not to be bitter. It's an art to enjoy women, to enjoy life, but to know that when it comes to this kind of shit, they're gonna pull some shit. Women are gonna pull some shit on this one, right? And you just have to know that. You got to be a mature man who knows this is the way they are, and you got to be able to deal with it. Don't believe a word they say. Never come inside of them if you don't want a baby, ever, ever, ever. You know, and learn to, if you don't use a condom and you don't want to come inside them and you don't trust her on the pill, you have to learn to pull out. And I know that's going to sound ridiculous to you guys because you've been reading magazines. Personally, I've realized that if you train your Kegel muscles, you can totally train the amount of cum that comes out, and you can. The best way to train yourself so that you don't get a girl pregnant is to, when you're pissing, to stop mid-piss. So let's say you're having a huge piss, right? And then you just, and you learn to only use the Kegel muscles, not to use any other muscles. You don't want your face to turn red. You don't want your neck to get all, screwed up. You want to just use those muscles. On, off, on, off. So piss, stop, piss, stop, piss, stop, piss, stop. That's the muscle that you need to build in order to pull out properly. And I've trained my muscles since I was in junior high school, and they're totally in control of my cum. And I'm confident in that, and I know that for a fact. So it can be done. It takes time, it takes practice, and you don't have to go to girl pregnant, even if you're not wearing a condom. And there are other old school ways to do it, but it takes time, it takes diligence. You got to be diligent about it and practice it. And also, you also have the risk of diseases, so obviously sometimes you want to protect yourself against that. So there you go. There's my thoughts on stealthing. Ronin Man signing off. Thanks so much for listening and participating in the conversation. This MGTOW stuff is making me so happy. So have a good one.